I feel like because of the time that we live in, it's more important for people to start telling the truth about the things that they are discerning, because it's becoming more difficult to discern the fruits or the qualities of people who walk in the light. Hello, good day. This is going to be a little bit of a different video. And I'm not even made up. I don't even have any filters on anything. This is just impromptu. And I was inspired to share, led to share my experience with something I really, to be honest, don't even want to really speak about. But I feel like because of the time that we live in, it's more important for people to start telling the truth about the things that they are discerning, because it's becoming more difficult to discern the fruits or the qualities of people who walk in the light, people who really are um, good, genuine, not just genuine people, but true believers um, of the gospel. And, we live in a time where people are really deceitful, lying, manipulating to portray themselves as being angels of light or good influences, positive influences. But it's so much darkness in the world. And this is just my experience of how I learned to recognize witches in the workplace. So there's some patterns that they have. Of course, you want to make sure that you have the foundation of the Holy Spirit. You want to be spirit led in everything you do, because you want to have good discernment. You want to make sure that you're living a clean life, that there's no kinks in your armor, and also be reading the word, be reading that word, because when you have the foundation of the truth and you have at least the basic understanding of spiritual principles, it'll make it easier for you to filter your experiences through that, which also helps to increase your discernment. And so when someone comes and they're trying to manipulate and deceive you, you'll be able to hear it. It fine tunes your spiritual ears more. So you want to be in your word. Um, you want to be fasting. You want to be praying. You want to make sure you don't have no hidden sin in your life, because you don't want anything to have legal rights or access to you. So just a few things that I noticed, the patterns and habits of some of them. They try to mimic and mirror people around them, because they have to make themselves seem like they fit into those environments. They have to make themselves seem like, oh, we have something in common, or, they're a friendly person. So that's how they can infiltrate certain environments and unnoticed until it may be, too late, or later on. Then it's like, hey, something's really off about this person once things start adding up. Um, so they have to mirror and mimic other people's qualities, whether it be mannerisms, how they speak, how they talk, um, habits that others have. What you like, they like the same thing as you, because this is also a way for them to try to identify the people who may be targets for them, like the people who are more outspoken, depending on what way they lean. If it's a believer who's more outspoken, they'll eventually try to silence that person. If it's not a believer who's more outspoken, they'll try to befriend them, or keep that person from having access to them, just in case they are going to expose something that they do, because they're really just monitoring, and they're pretty much sizing everybody up in the environment, because they have to find a way to be able to dig their hooks in, um, because they want to eventually spread their poison, I guess you can say. They have to infiltrate that way. So that's the first thing they're going to do. They're going to be friendly. They're going to be, they're going to seem like it's not anybody that's a threat. They're going to seem like, oh, you don't have to worry about me, or they're going to seem like someone who's not a big threat. You're not going to think that this is a person that you need to watch out for. They're going to be a friend to everybody, and you know how the saying goes: a friend to everybody is a friend to nobody. They're going to, because they're being a chameleon to everybody that they interact with. So it's going to be difficult to be able to tell that something's off about them in the beginning. They're going to be social. A lot of times they're going to be, um, you know, like I said, friendly. They're going to interact with everyone, and they're just going to keep a low profile. They're going to be really low key type person. Um, in that aspect, you'll have to notice if they are intentionally mimicking and mirroring other people. You'll have to notice if they start copying how people's mannerisms and how they talk. If they start doing things like that, that's how you'll know. And then also, like I said, your discernment. You're gonna have to be able to pick up spiritually when somebody's in your space, who is um opposition to the things of God. Somebody who opposes things of God. And then it'll start as they get more comfortable, it potentially will start manifesting through their interactions as well, in how they respond to other people, or when they want attention, or where they want to start trying to see who they can use for their benefit. I'll say it like that. So they'll start trying to manipulate people, giving half information, asking very strange questions, um, just little things like that. You'll notice some different inflections in their voice, because understand these people are being led by spirits, and it's not them. Like, they're going to be changing a lot, and you're going to notice those little small minute changes. You have to notice the little things. The little things matter. Um, so their voice changes a lot. You have to look at their face and how they say things. Like, um, for example, they may say something like they're being nice to you, but really they're looking for anything that they can, like, looking for something they can use. So it'll be like, I'm sure you'll have a good day, would you? Now, that doesn't sound like anything, but you're gonna see their mannerisms and the inflection in their voice change. You have to look at it from the examples in the Bible. How was Eve deceived? Eve was deceived because the serpent, he basically said to her, "You won't surely die, will you?" They mimic their master. So you have to understand, just like followers of Christ mimic Jesus, those who are not followers of Christ, they mimic the one that they follow also. So it's good to have the Bible. You have to learn um, the patterns of the enemy and how he speaks. The enemy disguises himself as an angel of light. You need to know how to recognize that, and how to hear when someone is trying to deceive you. There's going to be deception in their voice. They seem like they have their sound voice of wisdom. They're going to use the things that they know. They studied patterns of humans for centuries. And you have to recognize when someone is studying you, they want to see how you bend and how you move and what affects you. So, in them trying to be deceitful and manipulate you, they're trying to see what they can poke at, how you're going to react to the things they say, the things that they do. They're sizing you up. They're trying to figure you out, um, and study your patterns, because that's what the enemy does. The enemy roams around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. He's watching you. So they do the same thing. They're mimicking that in the way that they watch and monitor people, like monitoring spirits. Usually these people have monitoring spirits as well. So you have to pay attention to that. And you're going to know when they start launching their attack, they're going to start saying little things that you say in that deceptive way of, well, you just want to be a good person, don't you? Like, little things that they're going to say, you're going to know. Like, when your spirit feels that, like, your some say intuition, like, you're going to have that feeling that that was a little off, that you would say that. You have to learn how to respond to that stuff. And you have to learn how to set boundaries with people. Like, boundaries are really important with everybody, but especially with people who are into like occults and divination and witchcraft, because they'll look for ways to get into agreement with you. They'll look for ways for you to get into agreement with them so they can have legal rights to you. So another thing that they'll do, if you seem to be a threat to them, they're going to start trying to get as many people against you. The ones who are the most beneficial to them advancing, or getting connections, or giving them opportunities, those are the people they're going to use. They're going to try to turn against you first. Um, so they'll start saying, like, they'll take a little piece of anything, because this is the deceitful. The deception is them taking anything that you do and twisting it and turning it and perverting it. Anything you do, anything you say, they'll take it and they'll turn it into something negative. They have to make you look bad. They have to, and usually they're projecting like the qualities that they have. This is a psychological thing as well, because understand spiritual warfare is a mind thing. So the things that people don't like about themselves, they try to project it on others, especially those who they have some sort of negative association with, or people who they really don't like too much. They'll claim that you're something that you're not, but it's usually a quality that they don't like about themselves. They'll start um, saying little things to you because they're really studying you, trying to see how you'll respond, because they're looking for a way to control people in their environment, control the environment, especially because they're a lot of times they're looking for territory. They want to be in control. So they'll try to use manipulation tactics a lot. Everything they'll come ask you they won't even ask you a question about something they want to know. They'll make a statement, and that statement is something concerning you or someone else that you were involved with. It could be a work task or anything, but they'll make a statement, but it'll be something potentially inaccurate. So you have to correct them, and you're correcting them. You're giving them the information they want to know. So instead of answering their question or giving them the information, ask them, "What do you mean by that? Why do you say that? Where'd you get that from? Who said that?" Ask them a question with the statement that they make. Don't ever just volunteer information. Okay, so that's one thing. It's like the way they try to manipulate information out of people. They'll make statements, or even they'll try to say that, "Hey, I'm working on this, this, and this." If they've been monitoring a spy on you, then obviously they know something that you may be up to. Never tell anybody anything about yourself, any of your plans, if you don't want them to go tell someone else. If this is not somebody that you trust, this is not a significant other, do not tell them anything. If they didn't ask you what you have going on, if they're not asking you specific questions about what you're doing, what your plans are, don't tell them anything. Another way is they'll try to bait you in conversations. They'll try to find ways to get you to say something that they can use against you, because they're looking for a way to deceive others about anything and even about you. So they'll take a little piece of something you say or do, and they'll um, turn into something negative. Like if you answer a question, like who was like if they say who was down somewhere, why, you can go down and see is how you need to respond. Because if you say a name and say, oh, such and such is there, they potentially will go tell this person something about you, because there's something about you. If you are a target, they want to destroy you and lower people's perspective of you. A lot of this can also be learned through like narcissistic behavior. Like they have similar patterns. They have the same patterns as narcissists, covert, overt, sociopaths. They have the same patterns because these are spirits. They try to find ways to influence those who make decisions, but they have to like be their friend, befriend. And they do the same thing that they do to everyone else. Mirror them, seem so humble. They copy humility. They practice. It's like they practice being someone they're not. They have to put on this different demeanor to be able to interact with certain people. And another thing they do with that is a lot of times they'll try to tell like these stories, like a sob story. Like they have to emotionally manipulate people. They're looking for sympathy a lot to get access to people, because you know that you connect a lot with people through the stories that you tell, and they know how to use the art of storytelling as well to get people on their side. So they do that a lot also, especially when it comes to like, say if you're the person they talk about a lot, um, they get people on their side by they say something about you, and then they'll, because I just been through so much, and I want to be a good friend to them. I just want to help them out. I guess they don't understand. They're lying. They're manipulating people. Make sure you're in the room when conversations are had about you as often as possible, and that no one is speaking for you. Assert your boundaries in a way that people know nobody speaks for me. I haven't given anybody permission to speak for me. But there's something I heard. I don't remember where I heard it, but the saying goes like, if you want to make if you want to make a witch mad, be yourself. They do not like your light. If you are a bubbly, happy, charismatic person, they're going to try to kill that glimmer in your eye. And they're going to try to launch any type of attack on your character, on your self-esteem. When you're making decisions, they're going to try to question everything you do. They're going to be extremely critical of you, because they potentially they're trying to minimize you. They want to dim your light. You're a threat to their darkness. Another thing they'll do is they watch who's talking to who, and if you're a person they don't like, or it's a target or a threat, they see who you're talking to. When you gone, they're gonna go to that person and say something about you. They have to don't let your good be evil spoken of, because there are people who will try to take anything about you when they're trying to infiltrate certain environments. And if you're the target, then they're going to try to make it seem like you're the villain or you're the bad person. Everything you say or do, they're going to twist and turn it, and they're going to project on you. Because understand, if I'm a deceitful person, if I want to deceive you about somebody or something, I'm going to tell you to look in another direction. Meanwhile, I'm over here with dirty hands. That's just some quick things that I can remember off the top of my head. This was so impromptu, and I want to have some scriptures in the description. Also, just go study the word. Like even the scriptures that I put, as far as how to identify certain people, and the difference in the fruit of the spirit, and some examples of the enemy's tactics. Go study it yourself and ask God for wisdom and understanding, and help him to fine tune your discernment when you go into these environments, because understand there's a spiritual war out here, and the enemy wants to take as many people down as possible. So you got to fight for your soul. You don't have a choice, because whether you want to fight or not, something's going to be fighting against you. But understand victory is in Jesus. And that's all I have. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.